Good morning, welcome to Planet Mojo. Today I'm going to be harvesting a bunch of grapes and then I'll be making my first wine. Got a lot of hornet action on these. I'm going to have to get in there. This is the way it was last year down in the vineyard. There was just hornets everywhere. Not a huge amount of grapes up here. Let me see this vine here. Looks like this is pretty well decimated. I have 2 full buckets of grapes from the vineyard and they're being chilled right now. So I don't know how much more I'm going to get from these 2. There's probably a bucket full left in the vineyard of stuff that was missed from harvest yesterday. So I better get going and get what I can out of these. And it's kind of a long walk. I got to walk up and down all of the aisles and look really close to see the ones that were missed. But we'll get it done. All right, we'll start by getting the net off of these. Lots of hornets in here. I picked all day yesterday, so I'm a little better at this than I normally am. The birds got at a lot of this stuff, and then the hornets get at the rest. But those are actually pretty good. I'm going to get rid of some of the nastier stuff when I crush these. And it should make some good wine, I'm thinking. But I'm no expert, that's for sure. Like some of these, like this one here, that's just a disaster. I'll take the top part of it, and that, the back part is all just fine. We'll keep it and deal with it later. Some of these I'll just throw on the ground though. I had an oriole. Oh, that was a bee that was in there. I had an oriole that was pecking at these ones up here. I believe he lives up here somewhere because they really didn't mess with the vineyard grapes all that much. Again, I'm going to go over these and I'm going to rinse them, and I'm going to pick out the bad ones, so I should have a real nice set of grapes when I'm done. Some of these grapes get so packed together the way they grow. it's hard to get them out. And then they have leaves growing right through the cluster. Okay, most of that's on the other side. Alright, there's a lot more here than I thought. I'll get back with you in just a second when I'm on the other side. This is the first harvest from this vine. This is, this is its third year. Yeah, I'll have to net the ones up here by the house. I'm going to have to net these much sooner because the birds really get at this stuff. Oh, the cluster's all entangled in here. Sometimes they don't want to give up easy. That's a good cluster right there. See, it's got a couple bird pecks on it, but yeah, these are definitely far more bird pecked than the ones from the main vineyard. But what I'm going to do is just set up my crushing station. I'm going to set up by the faucet over there, pull the cluster out, pull the bad stuff off of it, rinse it, and then throw it into my crushing setup. Alright, these greenies, just cutting those and letting them fall to the ground. Otherwise, the vine will take up energy to ripen those, and we prefer it to save its energy for next year. We would never harvest them. What I'm doing here, these are all just slaughtered, these clusters on this side. I think this is where the oriole was just hiding over here, because you can't see the house from here. The oriole was just hiding over here and devouring grapes. And when it got done with this side, I saw it over here, but when it got done with this side, it must have had to come on the house side. Alright, I'm just going to cut loose a few of these, and then we'll head to the next vine up here, which has a terrible net on it. So I'm just going to tear it off, and then we'll head down to the vineyard, and I'm pretty much just going to go up and down the rows really fast. I will be looking inside of the canopy for, I know there's a few really nice clusters in there, and I'm hoping I can at least finish that bucket full. But if I can get another bucket full, that would be great. That would be, 60 pounds, or no, 80 pounds if I can get 2 buckets full. And again, I have that vine right there too. All right, this vine's done. Let's head over there. All right, here's one. Got a few yucky ones on there, but otherwise a good cluster. Had some much bigger clusters last year, I believe. Bigger crop this year, but less in size. I'm roughly halfway through. It doesn't look like I'm going to get more. Well, I probably won't get a whole lot more than what I have there. Maybe I'll get this bucket full, but it looks like I'm going to end up with about 50 pounds of grapes. So what I'm looking for is basically just a dark area, and then just move the leaves aside a little bit to see if there's a cluster that got missed in there. On some vines you can just spot it right away. We had, at certain times, we had five people picking at once, so we kind of hopscotched? Whatever that's called. We just kind of kept bypassing each other, and sometimes things were missed, and I saw them when we were originally picking, but some of them I went back and got right away. I believe we missed the most on the last row because everybody was getting tired. Yeah, there was quite a bit in the first row, and just a couple in this row so far. So we're not going to get a whole lot out of this. This is all pecked up. Let it fall to the ground. There's one right there. It's a little one, but every little bit helps. Alright, I'll get back with you probably on that last row. So let these fall to the ground. They're not going to be ripe enough. But I see a big cluster on the other side, so we'll head over and get that. I don't think I told the story of what went on this morning. When I found out we had all those extra grapes, I wanted to make wine this year regardless, but I was just going to use the wine from those vines. I'm glad I didn't do that because there wasn't much there. Yeah, you can see how that was hidden from whoever was picking on this side. That is a beautiful set of grapes right there. So, I was going to make wine from those, but when we found those last two buckets that weren't dumped into the bin, I decided to make wine out of it. But it's Labor Day weekend, so nothing's open, and I don't have any chemicals or anything. I watched the videos last night and this morning and found two chemicals that I really, really needed, unless I was going to take the chance on using wild yeast and most likely having terrible wine. So I looked at the local beer and wine supply places. They were all closed, but one said that if I ordered, I could pick it up after 12:30. So I ordered the stuff that I saw on the video, and I ran into town with Natalie, and it's a winemaking store next to a beer making store next to a winery, and they had a ton of people in there, you know, drinking wine and all that stuff like your average winery. So I went in there to pick up my stuff. You order it online and pay for it with a credit card. The guy came in and bagged it up this morning, but he was still there, so I got to talk to him. I only ordered the two chemicals that I knew were correct, and I got to talk to him. She went and hunted him down and got him because he was still there after filling the orders. And he went over what I was going to need. Altogether it costed $7 for the two chemicals and then another $8. I got a book and the yeast, and he went over what I needed to do and all that stuff. So that worked out really, really well. There's a big one right there. And I didn't see that from the other side. There we go. Lots of green berries this year, and I got to find out what's causing that. I didn't have any last year. And it's not that the grapes aren't mature. The vast majority of them are mature. It's just that there's some green ones in there. I'll have to look that up. So I have all the chemicals that I need to get me through fermentation, make my must, and start it fermenting. So I'm good to go for a while. And I believe I can order the carboys online. They didn't have them there. They might have been part of a kit, but I already have the stuff I need. Some of the stuff like a pH meter and all that I have already, so just need a couple more items. A racking rod, I'm not sure what you call them, but it's a rod for siphoning, and a couple other things. All right, I got two more aisles to go, and we'll go back and get this stuff on ice. So the second I turned off the camera down there in the vineyard, the two neighbor kids spotted me and then came over by me and helped me look for the last of the grapes. So I couldn't film the neighbor kids, so it is what it is. All right, I have my grapes. These were picked 24 hours ago, almost to the minute right now. These are nice and cold. They're right in front of an AC. I turned it off so I could film this, but I'm going to turn that back on in just a second. But I'm going to head down to the town in just a couple minutes to go get some milk. So what I'm going to do is just get a bag of ice. I have a big bin that I think I can get all three of these in there. But if not, I'll just put these two in there. These are freshly picked, so they'll last until tomorrow without a problem. And then tomorrow morning, I'll crush the grapes and get them fermenting, and we'll be off to the races. So let me go get that ice, and then we'll finish this up. On my way to the store, just thought you might like to see some of the beauty around here. Alright, that's enough. We are on the causeway that goes across the Mississippi River. Usually there's nobody walking on the causeway. This is Iowa, right up here. We're going to go over this big bridge, but I wanted to see how many boats we see there. I think there's a fishing tournament going on. This is a huge time for fishing. The parking lot is right over here. Oh, it's nearly full. I think people are leaving. It's getting a bit late. People get so scared on this bridge that they drive right down the center. The bridge is probably about 100 years old. I believe it's 100 years old. It used to be a toll bridge back in the day. It's an open deck. You can see the river down through there. And it's pretty tall. We get a lot of barge traffic through here. Alright, small town, Iowa. It's a very quaint little town. I see it's got a date up there, 1854 to 1902. Back over the bridge. Just hundreds and hundreds of boats on the river today, but it's kind of calming down. Natalie and I came through here early this morning. This is where they dump the dredged sand. We use it on our streets in the winter. All right, I gotta rush back and get those grapes on ice. There's our ridge. We live up on top of that ridge, but over that way a little bit. It's a very long ridge. better view of the ridge. You can see the rock outcroppings and stuff there. All right, we're going up the hill that leads to the top of the ridge. Kind of show you how this looks. It's a heck of a hill. It's kind of hard to tell you're going up on camera, but we're going up pretty steeply. Broken guardrail. They put caution tape on it. That'll help. As it gets closer to winter, you can see way down into the hollow there. You really don't want to take this road in the winter, though. We are up, oh, probably a little over 1,000 feet right now. And this is the top. Lots and lots of corn up here. Some of it's growing a foot from the road. Beautiful area though. Okay, I'm back with the ice. I got the pails in my bin. I just got to dump the ice in here. That's the stuff I picked today. I think I'm just going to stack that up on top of here. That will be plenty fine. Like I said, we have the AC is going to be going all night, and it's going to be 50 degrees overnight, so it's probably going to get really nice and cool in here. So everything's going to be just fine. Let me get the ice in there, and I'm going to show you the chemicals I bought and then wrap it up. And turn the AC back on. Okay, here is the bag of stuff that I picked up today. And originally I was just going to get this potassium metabisulfate and where is it? Pectic enzyme. And I guess this is to feed this, which will kill the wild yeast. What it'll do is, I believe it just, it activates the wild yeast and it just burns it all up. So, those two I absolutely needed. This is what I was going to the wine store to get. And then, like I said, I met the guy, like their wine guy there. He was real helpful, and he set me up with the yeast and the yeast nutrient to take it through the next step, or to continue this must step. And he got me a recipe handbook. This was just a couple of bucks. Altogether, I think this was like 15 bucks, something like that. It was pretty cheap. So I got all the stuff I need. I believe this is all I'm going to need for tomorrow, but I might be adding the yeast as well. I'm not sure. I'm going to go read up and watch my YouTube video on winemaking, and I'll be crushing the grapes and starting the must tomorrow. So if you want to see that, make sure you subscribe and click on the update icon. If you have any questions or comments, make sure you put them in the comment section below. And what the hell is that dog barking about? She's barking. Izzy's barking at the nets. I left the nets on the ground. I'll have to go. Oh, Cindy's going to get them out of there. Where was I? Oh, if you give the video a like and or share it, it helps the channel out greatly. Thanks for watching and have a great day.